let's talk about Apple. Their CEO, Tim Cook, is
Oh,
stepping down September 1st. He's
yes.
moving to a executive chairman role.
I
In
just want to say all Apple
Yeah,
shareholders should thank me for this change because when Apple released the MacBook Neo, I said whoever is responsible for the MacBook Neo should be immediately promoted to CEO, replacing Tim Cook. And sure enough, this is the guy who was responsible. I forget his name.
John
Why am I?
Ternus.
John Ternus. Thank you. John Ternus is the guy who was responsible for the MacBook Neo, and he is replacing Apple CEO Tim Cook. That particular post on X, by the way, went surprisingly viral, and it got a
I
ton
remember
of
that.
views,
A
which
lot of
was
pushback too.
unexpected. Yeah, a lot of pushback. People really loved. A lot of investors apparently really loved Tim Cook, but apparently Apple agreed with me. So, but here's why I'm excited because A, this guy's an engineer. B, he understands what the core of Apple's strength is all about, which is building absolutely amazing products, top tier products, but for the masses. So priced in such a way that the masses can afford. Under Tim Cook, they had gotten away from that to some degree. With coming out with a $3,500 Vision Pro, for example, $6,000 monitor, Mac Pro that was like ridiculously priced. Just the wheels on the Mac Pro cost as much as a computer did. It was just like
Right.
$400 for wheels on underneath this sort of like cabin. Um, I mean, it was just kind of insane, right? And of course, I'm sure not everyone inside of the company agrees with those types of pricing and product strategies. That's why you need somebody who gets it on the product side, but also gets it on the pricing side, and can create products for the masses. And clearly, John Ternus gets it with the $599 MacBook that is a phenomenal product for that price point. And what also excites me is that it's not too late for Apple to get into the AI game. And under new leadership, that is a real possibility because Apple still controls the gateway in which people access AI, whether it's through their MacBook or iPhone. They have a pretty substantial reach. And if they come out with a good product on the AI side of things, they actually can still be a massive player in that regard. So I'm super excited about it. Not excited enough to buy the stock, but I think this has an opportunity to make one of the greatest companies in the world, and a company that I absolutely love and have been using the products of, continue to be relevant for decades longer. So,
Okay. I have a
what are
lot of
your
thoughts
thoughts?
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first off, I think Tim Cook has done an incredible job for Apple shareholders, right? When he took over, Apple was a $350 billion company. Now they are a $4 trillion company. So that has been fantastic if you are a shareholder. If you're not a shareholder, which I am not, and you are not, I think he's done okay. The magic and spark, and I know it's impossible to replicate what Steve Jobs did, but that has disappeared from Apple's products. The only killer product they have released, in my opinion, under Tim Cook is what you are using right now, and that's the AirPods. Everything else has been fairly lackluster. All of the upgrades have been fairly lackluster,
Would you say
with some
until the
exceptions.
Neo? Neo might be
Well,
one of those exceptions.
yeah, the feature is, the
The price.
price as opposed to, like, the product, right? Like, if I'm ignoring pricing from everything, like,
That's
even
right.
the, Vision Pro is not an incredible product because you can't really do much with it, you know? So,
Mm, I mean,
like,
it's a pretty
compared to the
incredible
Quest,
product, but say again.
yeah, no, it's impressive, but you can't do a workout class, you
Right,
know?
right. Yeah, yeah.
Um, so but going back to the Neo, one of the biggest accomplishments outside of the Neo specifically of John Ternus is the transition from Intel to Apple Silicon, which
Mm,
was incredible. Like, not
Yeah.
only did it totally reinvigorate the MacBooks and what they can do and how powerful they are and how they handle power consumption, but the transition of going from Intel to Apple Silicon, where all your applications still worked, is mind-boggling. It was seamless. The last
Yeah.
time they did that, they went from PowerPC to Intel, and that
And things
was,
broke. Oh,
yeah, that was terrible, right? Like,
right.
nothing worked. And that was a much harder transition, even though that was also a very necessary transition. Arguably, Apple wouldn't be where they were today if they didn't move to Intel. Um,
100%. Yeah.
Now, in regards to what do I think of John Ternus? So I don't know too much about him. I know he's currently the SVP of hardware engineering. So I'm not positive he's the guy to solve the AI piece. He might be. I don't know. I do
Yeah.
think there's a good chance he could solve the products are missing a spark, and they
Yeah.
hopefully they're going to start releasing some cool products down the road. Now going back to I actually think it's not ideal, but it's okay if Apple misses AI for a very long time. And the reason for that is
They
as
have
long as they're
already
using
missed AI for a very long time, by the
that's
way.
true. So
So
if they continue to miss AI, I think they can continue to miss AI and be totally fine for a while,
how
starting
much longer do
today.
you think?
Uh, I don't know. Let's say 5 years,
Really? You
easy.
think they could miss it for another 5?
And I'll explain why.
Okay.
Because how many users are going to switch from a Mac to a PC or from an iPhone to an Android phone because of AI today? And the answer is
Yeah.
probably minimal, at least right now, until Windows and Android do
Well,
something incredible. Because their users are going to be using their products, if Apple decides to execute on AI in 5 years and just kill it, because they control the OS, they could make their AI have access to all the internal APIs. It could be fully integrated,
yes.
and then they could become a dominant player. It's very similar to what Google just did with Gemini, which they were very late on Gemini being like a great model, but then they put it in front of every Android user, and the integration's fantastic. The model is now fantastic, and now I use Gemini every day, which was
Right.
not I couldn't say a year ago.
So a couple points. Google was only 2 years late against OpenAI, and still OpenAI controls something like 70% of consumer market versus Google, which is growing market share. So you're right that they didn't completely miss the boat because of their impact. And this is sort of why I'm saying Apple has some time, but I don't know if that time is 5 years because I think um, it's possible it'll be 5 years, but what I think we might be missing is not knowing what hardware might come out that takes advantage of AI more integrated. So if, for example, OpenAI comes out with a hardware product that makes phones less relevant or the iPhone less relevant,
Sure.
that could change the game quite a bit. Now, Apple still will have time after that, but they have to act quickly. And this is why I think they should operate as if they only have a year left, but they might realistically have 2 or 3 or maybe 5 years left, optimistically. I don't
Right.
think they have more than 5 years though, before some kind of hardware AI integrated product is going to take over. And I'm not even sure we can imagine what that might be yet.
Right. And obviously there's been several players that have tried to do this, like the Humane Pin,
Right.
and others. But yeah, I
And Meta is
it's gonna
definitely working on, glasses, wearable type of technology. They
yes.
might be a player in it. That might be interesting. But yeah, I new CEO increases the possibility that something might happen for sure with
Yeah, I would
Apple.
say I'm overall optimistic like you, but more on the product side of things than the AI side of things. But this is definitely a good catalyst for AI just because it's an unknown variable as opposed to Tim Cook, which has definitely not done a great job in this department.
Yeah, agreed.